Hey guys, so today's video is a little bit different from what I've been doing. Granted, all of my videos are a little bit different. Sorry, I can't seem to get the angle right. This video is what I watched in December. I was very sick, like I've said in my past videos, and I can't really remember everything that I watched, so I've got a list of like 10-ish things that I've watched, obviously. Kind of look a little dead. Storming all night, but it's kind of the vibe I was going for. So I'm gonna start off with some of these we haven't finished because we're in the middle, and some of them you don't have to watch them like continuously. So the first one I have is Black Mirror. I've already watched it twice. This is my third time going through. I give it a 10 out of 10 because everything is so well done. Some of the episodes are probably on the 5-ish side, but that's because they're all different. If you haven't watched it, it's about the future-ish. And it's the problems with technology or the human brain and why it's not exactly like safe. Think Twilight Zone, but futuresque. The next thing I watched was The Heart of Dixie. I haven't finished it because I just kind of got bored of it. It was the same thing over and over again. I'm only watching the first season and I can't finish it. I really liked it in the beginning. But it just started going downhill and the plots kept twisting when they should have just stayed on a line. I gave it a 6. It's not like the best thing, but it's nice to have it on in the background if you're cleaning the house or the living room. Sorry, I guess school just got out, so this car is coming back from work or whatever. It's about this girl who becomes a doctor, and turns out her dad isn't really her dad. Her dad lived in Alabama, but I can't remember the town. I think it's Dixie. I don't know. So she ends up moving down there. Her dad died before she got there, so she's got to get enough patients before the end of the term so that she can continue her practice. And it's just kind of like a regular old, oh, this is this, and I've got to do this, otherwise I lose my thing, and then everything turns out good at the end of the episodes. You don't really have to watch those in order too much, but you should, because there's some plots that go in order, but not most of them. So then I watched Harry and the Hendersons, which is one of my favorite movies, so I gave it a 10 out of 10. I've been watching it since I was 6, 5, at least from what I remember. It's about this family who are driving back from their camping trip. It's where people have the loudest cars. That was a tiny one too. And so anyway, they come back from their camping trip, and the dad looks down and then he looks back up and he hits Bigfoot. So they bring Bigfoot back into town with them. I think they're in Portland. And it was made in the early 80s. I think it was 82. And it's just a great movie. It's happy. It's really funny. Suggest watching it. It's on Netflix. All of these are on Netflix. I was gonna say or Hulu, but I didn't get Hulu until this month. So, the next thing I have is The Grinch, because it was Christmas. It was the only Christmas movie I watched this last December. Because, I was sick and I wasn't feeling in the Christmas mood because we were broke and we were trying to afford a house. We're actually on good standing right now. So let's hope it stays that way. Everyone should know about the Grinch. So I'm not going to explain it. I think I already said I gave it a 10 out of 10. And then I watched Most Likely, and it is about these group of like 25-ish year olds, maybe a little older, and they go back to their friend's house for their reunion, and they're staying the night. It's a really, like, it's definitely a slasher flick. So if you don't like those, don't watch it. Because they end up getting killed one by one, and it's like... It's more like Friday the 13th than it is Halloween. And it was good. It was really good. I think there's a second one, but that one's not on Netflix. So I haven't watched that one yet. If you know where I can watch that one, or if there is one, comment below. I think there is. I think I looked it up. And then I gave that an 8. I noticed that a lot of the shows that I watched last month were like 8 out of 10s mostly. It's because I just wanted to curl up and watch something nice, and those slasher films aren't nice to everyone, but I really like it. I like horror movies. The second thing I watched was Deary Girls. It is a Netflix original, which Netflix can do no wrong. Like, there's a couple episodes that I don't like, or shows that I don't like, but a lot of people love them. The other way around too. Like, Netflix does no wrong. It's about these 4 girls and a guy who live in Ireland in the late 80s. And it's one of those shows, like, kind of like Hannah Montana, where the episodes don't go long. You don't have to watch them in order. So you could start with the first one and then bounce around if you wanted to. But it's really short. I think there was only like 8 episodes of the first season. And I don't know if a lot of people would like it. Like, I know Sarah wouldn't like it because of the accent. And, I know Amanda was like, I don't think it's something for me. But I gave it an 8 out of 10 because I really liked it. It was funny. Kind of hard to understand in the beginning. But I was supposed to go to Ireland, so I kind of like watched a lot of videos and movies of stuff set over there. So I kind of like picked up on the language a little bit. And then I watched lots of YouTube. I'm not going to go into who I watched because I can't even remember. It was Vlogmas. So, what else are you gonna watch, really? And then, I watched Cam with Sarah. That is a Netflix original. It was so much better than I thought it was gonna be. I love it. It was so good. I've watched it twice. I think I'm gonna watch it a third time within the next, like, 3 days. At first we were like, oh, this is really cheesy. This is, like, typical horror movie, girl's identity gets stolen, and then, like, it goes on and you're like, what the fuck? What is going on? It was so good, and there were some scenes where you're like, oh my god, I don't know if I can watch this. This is horrible. But anyway, I'll explain what it's about before I keep raving about it. Can't see my head, but so Cam is about this hold on. Okay. This girl who is a cam girl, obviously, if you can't tell by the name, or I guess it could have been a couple other things. But she has like probably like 20,000 viewers at a time or something. And she makes bank. She bought a house on it. And then all of a sudden she wakes up one day and her identity, like somebody is playing her online. Her identity is stolen, but in the weirdest freaking way. And she keeps going, and nobody will believe her because they're like, that's you. Were these pre-recorded or what? And, like, it gets creepier and creepier, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. But I don't recommend watching that one if you were under the age of 17. Like, I wouldn't want my nieces and nephews to watch that. I would be so uncomfortable if people under the age of 17 watched it. So I have 2 more on the list, and the second to last one is Atlantis from Disney. Me and Dakota went over to Amanda's and her husband's house for New Year's Eve. We only stayed till like 8 because Dakota had work the next day. I was just getting back to feeling better, and they just had a baby, so it was like kind of like, oh, we'll come over for a couple hours and hang out and in the new year with you guys. It was really fun. She made delicious food. I'm gonna try and get her on to do a cooking show. There's some lemon cookies and stuff that I want to make, but you haven't really met her yet. Atlantis, we watched it on Netflix. I think everything's leaving at the end of January from Disney, though, because Disney is making their own streaming system, which I'm not gonna pay for. I'll just have them all on DVD or VHS, not on DVD. On Netflix, I would give it a 5 out of 10 just because they didn't like fix it to like the new TVs, and it wasn't like remastered or anything, so it was like really jumpy on the drawings, on the pixelation and stuff. But overall, I love Atlantis, and I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It's not my favorite Disney movie. It kind of annoys me a little bit and makes me uncomfortable. Don't know why. And then the last thing I watched was Sabrina's Christmas special on Netflix, because it wasn't as good as the show. I'm not gonna, go into what it is because it's like the last episode of the season, but it's its own season. It was okay. The show is absolutely amazing, and maybe I'll do a talk on that, but the Christmas special was lacking. It could have been done a lot better. It could have been creepier. The preview for it, the trailer, it looked so creepy, and I was so excited for it, and then it was just kind of like, oh, it's slightly creepy, but it's not, not as good as the show was, which was a little bit disappointing. I'd give that one that episode in specific, I'd give it probably a 5. So it's not my favorite. I have a lot more, but I just can't remember what I watched. I wish I could. So yeah, that is what I watched in the month of December. Please like and subscribe, and remember, be happy in whatever walk of life you're in, because life's more fun when you're happy. Bye.